Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. A very good morning to everyone. Happy holiday. Welcome back to my fun physics world. So in this short video, I will discuss the answer for question number 11, section C, your mock exam paper. Alright, in this section C, there will be only one question which is compulsory for you all to answer. Okay, now we read the question and underline the important keyword. So diagram 11.1 and also diagram 11.2 shows the same hot air balloon but during different time. So can see that the first diagram showing the hot air balloon floating stationary afternoon, and then the second diagram 11.2 position of the same hot air balloon floating stationary early morning. Okay, so this is early morning. The first diagram is in the afternoon. Okay, the first question asking you about the density. So density, need to memorize this. Density equal to mass over volume. Mass over volume. If you write like this, also can get the mark already. If you want to use formula, let's say write density equal to m over v. So make sure you define where m is mass and then v will be the velocity. Velocity, volume, sorry. Okay, so this will be 1 mark. Okay, don't get confused with the symbol. A2. Observe diagram 11.1 and 11.2. Compare the height of the balloon, the density of the air, and the temperature of the air outside the balloon. Then you need to relate the temperature of the air with the density of the air outside the balloon and make deduction on the relationship between buoyant force and temperature. So the first three here, comparing height will be the first mark, density is the second mark, temperature will be the third mark. And then relating temperature and density will be the fourth mark. Relate buoyant force and temperature will be mark number 5. Alright, so this is a 5 marks question. I will suggest you all to write the first 3 points in table form. Okay, and then the relate one, relate question. So this one you write outside the table. Okay, outside table. Like this. Okay, so you write 3 column table. Diagram 11.1, 11.2. Just follow the question 11.1. Okay, and then 11. So 11.1 and 11.2. Then you need to compare. So the first point will be this, height of the balloon. So here, height of the balloon. And then the second point is the density of the air. So I already prepare here. And then the third point is temperature of air outside the balloon. So you copy all. You copy all of this. Alright. Then, so here, okay, so diagram 11.1, can see, right? 11.1, the height of the balloon here, low. Okay, just write lower. And then 11.2 is greater. So here will be the first mark. Take 1. And then the density of the air also given. Can see this part. Okay, and then here. Obvious, right? The density of the air in diagram 11.1 is smaller. And then 11.2 is greater. You can write like this. This will be easier. And then the temperature of the air. So now we know that the first diagram is during afternoon, and then second diagram is morning. So should be the temperature of the air. The second diagram will be smaller. So mark number 3. Okay, then after that you need to relate temperature of the air with the density, and then relate buoyant force and temperature. So that two relate question you write outside the table like this. Okay, so relate temperature and the density, and then after that relate temperature and the buoyant force. Okay, actually from the table that you already write, you can relate already. Okay, like this. So temperature and density. So we focus on this, density and temperature. So can see that the greater the temperature, the smaller the density. Greater temperature, smaller density. You get your first mark. Mark number 4. And then mark number 3 will be for the buoyant force and also temperature. Yeah, you can't see buoyant force here, but can see from the height of the balloon. Okay, height of the balloon higher means more buoyant force lah. Alright, so higher, so means that you can compare between this. Can compare between these two. Okay, so the smaller the temperature, the greater the height, means the greater the buoyant force. So that is how you get your mark number 5. Hopefully this is clear. If you have any question, you can PM me direct. Okay, so question B. Question B. So this is a 4 marks question. 4 marks. Showing a boy holding balloon filled with gas. Can see holding balloon means holding the string of the balloon, and the balloon is stationary. But when the boy release the balloon rise up. So you need to explain. So there are two situations here. So the first one is when the boy hold the balloon. Second, showing that the balloon, not showing, the diagram did not show, but the question asks you what, explain why the balloon rise up when boy release them. So for this, it's good to write like this. Okay, 4 marks. So 2 marks before, 2 marks after. So 2 marks before release the balloon, and then 2 marks after release balloon. Like that. So before the balloon is released, okay, the balloon is stationary. After balloon release, it rise up. So when the balloon is stationary, the first thing that you need to really remember is this. The net force is 0. That is the first mark. And then, since the balloon, the boy hold the string of the balloon, so there will be tension in the string. So that's why we have this formula. Okay, so when the balloon is stationary, so the net force is 0, mark 1. And then when the net force is 0, so it means that the buoyant force will be equal to the force downward. Buoyant force is upward force. So buoyant force will be equal to the total force downward. So that's why we have weight of the balloon plus the tension in the string. So that will be 2 marks. Okay, mark 1 here, mark 2 here. And then mark number 3, when the balloon release. Okay, so balloon rise up. So when the balloon rise up, it means that the net force is more than 0. There is a net force acting. So that will be tick number 3. And then tick number 4, since the balloon rise up, so it means that the buoyant force will be greater compared to the weight of the balloon. Okay, this is how you get 4 marks. Okay, last part, 10 marks. Still talking about the hot air balloon, but now you need to suggest and explain how to produce hot air balloon that can carry 3 or 4 passengers to higher altitude in shorter time. You are lucky because the question give you the aspect. So we have size of the balloon, material used for the balloon, quantity of the burners, temperature of the air in the balloon, and then time of launching. Okay, time of launching. Okay, so actually, the idea to answer this question, if you look at this part, here can give you the idea. So if you want the balloon to rise up higher in a shorter period of time, you need to focus on buoyant force. So means that the buoyant force must be as big as possible. This is your aim. Okay, in order to produce bigger buoyant force, okay, it will relate to the density of the air in the balloon, the density of the air outside the balloon. Okay, so here will be in and outside the balloon. And then the other one will also affect will be the mass or the weight of the mass or the weight of this part. Kejap. Material used for the balloon. Okay, you can talk about this, the basket here. Quantity of burner. Okay, temperature. Now we look at the question. So here can do like this. Okay, I'm satisfied with this. Size of the balloon. They give you size of the balloon. It should be larger. So when the size of the balloon is larger, greater buoyant force, okay, will be produced. Okay, we know that buoyant force will be the upward force. And then the material for the balloon, okay, good to write strong material. That will be 1 mark. And then reason will not break easily. And here also, if you want to write the material also can, strong materials such as, you can write nylon. So here also, I can give you mark if you write like that. Okay. And then another nylon will not break easily. The other one is smaller density. Smaller density. Okay, this one also can be given mark for the material of the balloon. And then the reason will be, can write lighter. Okay, lighter, smaller mass. And then the quantity of the burners, it should be large quantity burners. And then no need to write the number of the burners, can just write large quantity of burners. And then reason, heat up air in the balloon faster. Okay, or you can also write produce more heat energy. Okay, it's good to write this energy, heat energy, produce more heat energy, so that the air in the balloon will be heat up faster. Temperature of the air in the balloon, yeah, should be high. You don't write warmer, temperature warmer. It's good to write greater temperature. Okay, greater temperature. Reason, greater temperature air will be smaller density. Okay, you can write smaller density. Smaller density air. Smaller air density. Okay, smaller density air in the balloon lah. Okay, so it will be, can write bigger buoyant force. Time of launching, yeah, should be early morning. Okay, from the first question just now, 11.2, diagram 11.2, early morning. So if early morning, we focus on the density of the air outside. Okay, can write greater outside air density ataupun surrounding air density. Greater outside air density. So this will actually lead to greater buoyant force. This is for the explanation. Okay, I just want to comment on your friend's answer like this. Density, yeah, this is the perfect way to answer. Mass per unit volume, or you can just write as what I explained just now. You can just write mass divided by volume. Like this is already correct. And then if you want to write in sentence, make sure it is clear like this. For the first 3 marks, the one that I write in table just now, like this also can, but make sure you copy the whole thing. Height of balloon, density of the air, temperature of air outside. Need to mention which diagram like this. Okay, that will be the first 3 marks. And the relate question, this one, this is tick number 4, tick number 5. So I say the lower the temperature of air outside the balloon, the greater the density of air outside the balloon. This is clear. Okay, and then buoyant force increases as temperature of air outside balloon decreases. Okay, right. The greater the buoyant force, the smaller the density, the temperature of air outside. Okay, outside the balloon. Alright, so this one, yeah, this question not many students able to get 4 marks. Okay, just like this. So when the boy release the balloon, the weight of the balloon is released. No, the weight of the balloon is still there. Okay, so that's why I put a question mark. There is no longer any tension in the string. Okay, the buoyant force that act upward the balloon is larger than the weight of the balloon. So here can give, this is actually tick number 3. Then there is a difference of in force and a resultant force is produced. So this is tick number 4, this is tick number 3. So only means that this student only explain after the balloon is released, before it's not explained. Alright, so I really hope you can understand this. Then whenever you answer question like this, make sure you follow the technique that I already give you. Okay, just like this question, make sure you write in table form. Okay, table form like this. Alright. Okay, so yeah, all the best. Right.